In the previous episode, we discussed that a female extraterrestrial stayed with them throughout the day. When Meng went to sleep that night, she entered his room. Without speaking, she crawled onto the bed, and he found himself unable to move his body. Meng's wife was sleeping next to him at the time. When asked by an interviewer if he would want to have another encounter with the female extraterrestrial in the future, Meng answered, yes, which caused laughter among them. This experience gave Meng a pleasure he had never felt before and left a lasting impression on him. Meng continued with a serious expression, saying, "The extraterrestrial's exposed skin was mostly bluish with a hint of red and green, different from our skin color. The clothes she wore were very soft, thin, and fitted snugly. He felt comfortable to touch." Throughout the entire process, the extraterrestrial didn't say a word. On the night of July 16th, as Meng was getting ready to sleep, the male extraterrestrial entered his room. He came through the wall directly, and he was taller than the female extraterrestrial from the previous encounter. When he entered, the roof of the room bulged, but strangely, after he passed through, the roof returned to its normal state. He had two large eyes just like the female extraterrestrial, but the lower part was not visible. As soon as he entered, he said to Meng, "Come with me," in Chinese. Meng hesitated and asked, "Where are we going?" The male extraterrestrial grabbed his hand and led him towards the corner of the wall, and they both went straight through the wall. Meng pointed to the spot where they passed through the wall, right where two walls intersected, slightly thicker than other parts, but it appeared normal, with no visible traces. The two of them went outside, and Meng suddenly felt a bit cold. The male extraterrestrial took out a large piece of cloth, folded it once, and then folded it again, like a big cup with a handle. He put Meng inside the cloth, and with a swipe of his hand, the cloth stuck together as if it were glued. Meng didn't feel cold at all inside. The male extraterrestrial then lifted the handle of the cup with his hand, and the two of them flew in the air. It was very dark outside, and Meng couldn't tell the direction. They flew for a while, and Meng felt like they arrived at the top of a mountain. He looked down and exclaimed, "Wow! It's so beautiful!" It was a valley with many UFOs of various shapes parked inside. There were several disc-shaped ones, some were like the large question mark shape he saw on the mountain, and there were also fly-shaped ones. But all these UFOs seemed to be surrounded by a rainbow. At this moment, the extraterrestrial who was with him took out something like a cigarette case and placed it in his palm. He pressed it, and a beam of light shot out, causing a large gap to appear in the rainbow. So the two of them flew towards that gap. The male extraterrestrial took Meng to land in a small aircraft, and then they walked to a larger object. Inside, there was another male extraterrestrial, taller than the one who brought him there, with a round head and eyes bigger than anyone else's. He sat in the middle, looking like a leader. Everyone listened to his commands. When they talked among themselves, it sounded like the squeaking of mice, but when they spoke to Meng, they used Chinese. The leader sat on a floating board in mid-air, and Meng curiously asked the extraterrestrials why they came to Earth. They said, "We came to Earth for 3 purposes. First, refuge. Second, to collect seeds. And third, to investigate Earth." Meng asked, "Why do you need refuge?" The extraterrestrials said, "It's like what you call a comet colliding with Jupiter." The leader gestured to one of his subordinates, who then walked towards a wall and pressed something on it. A flat wall panel emerged, resembling a box, and the person placed it in front of Meng. Inside the box, a screen appeared, showing planets rotating and some objects colliding with them. Meng curiously asked, "Why would a comet and Jupiter collide?" They looked at each other, and one of them answered Meng, saying, "It's like how trains on Earth run at high speeds, generating a force that lifts rocks beside the railroad tracks and strikes the train." The extraterrestrial continued, "Do you have anything you need our help with?" Meng replied, "Can I meet the lady I met last time again?" They said, "She doesn't want to meet you." Meng felt very sad upon hearing this, and several extraterrestrials started laughing. One of them said teasingly, "You Earthlings are quite sentimental." Meng asked, "Why did she have to do that with me?" They said, "Well, 60 years later, there will be a farmer's son from Earth on our planet." Meng asked, "Can I see him?" They said, "You can." At this point, the leader gestured to his subordinates to stop talking. Meng felt heartbroken and didn't want to say much anymore. Later, the leader instructed the person who brought him there originally to take Meng back. Using the same method as before, the extraterrestrial brought Meng back to the front yard of his house and then left. From the beginning, Meng was only wearing shorts, and although it was July, the nights on the mountain were very cold. Meng hurriedly knocked on the door and asked his wife to open it for him. She opened the door while muttering, "But the door was locked, so how did you go out?" Since these events occurred, it seemed that the extraterrestrials maintained some level of contact with Meng's family, and unusual phenomena occurred in their home. For example, there was a potted orchid on the windowsill in Meng's room, and it had bloomed twice in a year, which had never happened before. There was also a time when Meng's wife witnessed the orchid emitting light. Since these events happened to Meng Jiaoguo, his wife said that his physical strength was not the same, and he couldn't do the work in the fields anymore. Over a year after these events, although the extraterrestrials didn't appear in Meng's home again, there seemed to be a telepathic connection between them and Meng. In September 2003, Meng Jiaoguo underwent a lie detector test while under hypnosis to determine if he was lying about the incident. Zhang Jingping, a UFO researcher who organized the lie detector test, stated that the results indicated Meng Jiaoguo was not lying about the event. Zhang Jingping also mentioned that a doctor examined a scar on Meng's thigh and concluded that the scar was not caused by a normal injury or surgery. Although Meng Jiaoguo passed the lie detector test, the information he provided is purely based on his own accounts and lacks substantial evidence, such as any physical artifacts left by the extraterrestrials. Additionally, Meng has changed the numerical details in his descriptions several times after the incident, further adding confusion to the events. Thank you for watching the 2 episodes of the Meng Jiaoguo incident. If you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe.